solution, you probably meet this kind of scenario, or you probably need your calendar table to serve as role-playing dimension for you, because you want to modify your filter context in different ways, right? And it's going to be very useful. Okay. Don't mind the picture you're seeing there. It's just my head, my small head. So if you look at the picture that you have on top where you are seeing my cursor, you are seeing that this is represented like two tables, right? And you see that they are all linking to one particular table like this, right? So this particular table here on the left is performing several roles. But don't worry, you'll get to understand it better by the time we do the theory part and also do the hands-on. Now, what is role-playing dimension in Power BI? Role-playing dimension in Power BI refers to a scenario where a single table, right, serves multiple purposes within a report. So you can imagine it as one helper table performing various functions, right? Imagine your calendar table performing the function of order, performing the function of shipped, performing the function of delivery. Now, let's see how that works. Now, a role-playing dimension in Power BI refers to a single dimension table that is used multiple times within a model to serve different purposes or roles, right? Okay, let's go ahead. Now, let's look at this case study 101. Now, imagine in a sales fact table that has the following date column. Your fact table, like your sales, right? Your sales table has order dates, it has shipped dates, it has delivery dates. The order date talks about when the order was placed. The ship date talked about when the order was shipped, and the delivered date talks about when the order was delivered. And you need to answer basic questions like number one, what is the quantity of product ordered? Number two, what is the quantity of products shipped? And number three, what is the quantity of products delivered? Now, how do you go about it? Now, there are three ways that one would implement this solution, or one will implement this what's it called? One way how you will create this solution, how you approach it, right? The first thing is that you create a date table, right? You build your calendar table with all its attributes. And you know what I mean by attribute, right? When I say a calendar table with its attributes, I'm talking about your calendar table having its month, the dates, the year, the quarter, everything that one would need, right? One would need in a calendar table must be complete. You must define your relationship. It means that you must relate your date table to one of the date columns that you have in your fact table, right? You will create a relationship between them. And for those that don't have, because the way Power BI works, yes, there are some limitations in the sense that you cannot create more than one active relationship between two tables, right? If you do that, the other relationship is going to be inactive. So you can only have one active relationship between two tables, right? And what you now need to do is to activate those inactive relationships by using what is called that function called use relationship. And with that, you can dynamically modify your filter context to transition properly, right? To give you your desired results. Now, let's go ahead. What are some of the benefits of creating a role-playing dimension or activating inactive relationship between tables? Number one is that it simplifies your model. Instead of you having to create multiple calendar tables, right? You can have one calendar table that will filter your order date, that will filter your delivery date, that will filter your uh that will filter your what's it called? That will filter um your delivery, your shipped, and your order dates, right? And you'll be able to get your order quantity, your your delivered quantity, sorry, and your what's it called, shipped quantity, without you having to create different calendar table that will connect to these date columns that you have in your six fact table, right? So with your dates table or your calendar table, you'll be able to perform or bring out the three different quantities that you have in your six fact table, right? So it simplifies your model, right? It uses redundancy and multiple identical dimension tables, right? Consistency. It ensures that the same set of attributes is used across different roles, right? And also the flexibility around it is that it enables analysis across different perspectives by activating those inactive relationships that exist in your data model. Now let's go ahead. So I'm going to share a particular file with you guys. Let me see if I could share that so that you can use that for your own practice. Just hold on. I don't know why I cannot share it here. I don't know why. Where is that place to attach? Ugh. Okay, maybe I will share it via WhatsApp then. Let me see if I can share via WhatsApp. Okay, I think I can share via WhatsApp. So hold on. Let me first share the file with you. Please, I want to be sure that people can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Should be on my desktop. Role playing data. Open. Okay. So I've shared the file with you guys now. So after this call, you can go back and practice whatever whatever we are doing here today. So let me just minimize this one, and I have my Power BI open, a blank report, right? Let me close this recovered. I don't want to recover anything. So I'm going to import data, and I have an Excel file here, and I'm going to look for the data I need for this class, role-playing data. That's the name of the file. I'll connect to it, right? I'll connect to it. And I'm going to, okay, I have my navigator. Now let's do a preview. You see that I have my order dates, the quantity, I have my ship date, and I have my delivery dates, right? Those are the four columns that I have here. My order dates, my quantity, my ship dates, and my delivery dates. Let me just do a little transformation. I only have four columns. The small data, just to do a demo of this. Just hold on, guys. Okay, I have it there now. Can you see my Power Query screen? Can
Yes.
you see my Power Query screen? Okay, good. So I have my order dates, my quantity, my ship date, my delivery date. So this particular quantity was ordered on this date, was shipped on this date, and was delivered on this date. So three different dates that we have in our sales table. So let me rename this sheet 2 as my sales table, right? And I'm going to close and apply. I don't have much to do here. It's very small. Everything looks good. And the next thing I'm going to do, according to the implementation steps, is for me to create my calendar table, right? I think I showed you guys last week Sunday how to create the calendar table. So I'm going to come here to my data or my table view, and I'm going to create new table, right? And I'm going to create calendar equals to, right? Calendar equals to, and I taught you guys something last week, the use of variables. So we're going to create the first variable, and we call it minimum underscore dates, right? Equals to, so don't forget that I have 3 dates there: order, shipped, and delivered. So this one's going to be based on the minimum the minimum date we have, I have in the order date column, right? And the second variable is not going to be based on what? The maximum date I have. Now, for the maximum date, guys, is it going to be, am I supposed to use ship date or delivery date for my maximum dates? Which one do you think is the right answer? Is it the
Delivery date.
why delivery date, man?
Or because delivery date, shipment happens before delivery. So it's going
Happen
to
before
skip the
delivery. So delivery is
yes.
the last stage, right?
Delivery is the last stage of
Thank you. God bless you. So I have that maximum of delivery dates, right? Then I'll say return. Anytime you use a variable, you must return. You must tell you what you want to return. So my normal calendar DAX function has start and end dates. So the variable I created, the minimum underscore dates, and the maximum I created, the maximum underscore dates. And I'm going to close my bracket and I'm going to press enter, right? And I can change this one to the normal, I can remove time, normal short dates, right? Okay, good. Now I have this. Let me create another new column. Let me make that the year column. So I say year equals to the year of the dates in my calendar table, right? Have year. I need the month name, new column, and I'm going to say month underscore name equals to format. I'll say format the dates, right, in the calendar table as what? MMM. If some people still remember that, let me make it bigger so you can see it. And I press enter. And I press enter. Create another one. Another new column. That one will be month number, right? And it will be equals to what? The month of what? The dates. Isaiah, your hand is up.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
So it has to do with the calendar date that will be created.
Yeah.
What determine the maximum date? Is it is it are we looking at what are we looking in a table? Are we looking at um where we can derive the maximum date, or we are looking at um because how will I put this English?
Okay.
Are we looking at what determine the are we looking at where we can derive the maximum date, or we are actually looking at the date at which the goods most likely leave a goods that is being sold will most likely leave. Maybe that's the word. For instance, I feel
Okay.
that when we are dealing with sales, yes, the order date, maybe the time, the date the goods were ordered Why the ship date means that the time that the ship is being shipped, the goods is being shipped out to be delivered to the person. So the delivery date is dependent on the delivery man. So I'm just thinking, and I just want clarity.
Isaiah, if you remember when we were talking about the different variations of fact table, we talked about how many types of fact table, different variations that we have. And if you remember that we talked about accumulating snapshots, do you remember? That has to do with business process. That in that kind of fact table, if you have other dates and the goods have not been shipped, the ship date is going to be empty. Do you remember? And by the time the status change, the ship date will have a value in our row and probably be waiting for delivery date. Do you remember? Right? The delivery date will be empty until the status now change finally to delivered. That's when you will now see a value in the delivery date or delivered date for a single row for a transaction, right? So this table is accumulating snapshot fact table. That is, in that business, there are 3 stages of the process. We have order, we have shipped, and we have delivery, right? So the reason behind us choosing the minimum order date, because order is the first stage in the process, right? So before delivery will happen, before shipment will happen, there must be an order. That's why we are using the minimum dates coming from the order dates, right? And because delivery is the last stage in the process, right? So we say, okay, the maximum, because we are creating a calendar table that will capture the 3 dates.
Okay.
Do you understand now?
Yeah.
That will capture the range of dates that we have between order, shipped, and delivery.
Okay.
Do you understand it now?
I do.
That's why we are using the maximum, because delivery is the last stage of the process. That's why we are using the maximum of the delivery dates.
Okay. So
yeah,
still on this calendar date. Is the calendar date, is the date, the starting date of the calendar, is it based on
at least the calendar should start from the minimum date of order and the maximum date of delivery?
No, I'm just asking that. What I'm even asking, I understand within the context of okay, we are analyzing the data. Let's talk within the context of giving a report for an organization. The minimum date, is it based on the date in which an organization is operating with, maybe their own calendar, or is also based on what we will get from the data?
Okay, you remember the concept of differential integrity. You remember that concept, right? We don't want our calendar dates to be longer than what we have going on in our fact table.
Okay.
We want to be able to control the range of dates that we have.
Okay.
So we want the date. So as our fact table becomes more bigger, more rows are added. We also want the calendar table to be also in that range of dates that we have in our fact table. So that by the time we are doing our reporting, we don't want to be seeing dates that don't exist yet in our fact table, and we are now seeing empty. It can confuse the stakeholders and the users.
Okay.
Abu Samad.
Good evening, Mr. Gwinga and everybody. I'm Mr. Isaiah as well. Just to add to what you're saying, instead of just using min and max, can't we just use a calendar auto to just to try and get the date so that we won't exceed the date in between the order date and delivery date, instead of just trying to use min and max? So I can just calendar auto most function.
Thank you. Calendar auto is good because calendar auto is meant to go through your meta model and help you determine the max and the min date. It's good, but sometimes calendar auto sometimes might not be 100% correct in most cases that I've seen. So that's
Okay.
why I usually try to specify by myself. But the reason why this one is better than specifying the date, hard coding the date, is because for every new day, you have to always come there to come and adjust the end date. But with this one now, it's like you set something to be like automatic. Anytime it detects a new date in a new row in your stakes table, it automatically updates your calendar table also to capture those new rows of dates that you have based on new transactions in your fact table.
Okay. Understand.
Is
Thank
it
you.
is it clear, Isaiah?
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
Okay. In generating weekly report also,
Hmm.
can we also generate a column for week 1, week 2 on the basis of from the calendar date?
Why not? Yes.
Okay.
Why not? Yes. You can create, but for now we are not using that for this class, but you can create more attributes. Is it clear, Isaiah?
Yes, it's clear. It's clear.
Okay, let's move on. So there was something that we did last week. Let me go to the month number. And because of the arrangements, we have 1, 2, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we can now go to month name and say sort column by month number. Okay, so let's create another new column, and that will be a combo of year and months. So we'll say month year is equals to the month name. I want the month name. I'm using the and symbol, right? We call that what do we call that stuff? I've forgotten. And then I put space in double quotes. I put another and. Then I call out the year in the calendar table. Then I enter. Then I have a combo of my months and my year. Interesting. But that's not where I'm going to. So let me go back here now. What I want to see is that on the same table, I want to be able to see my quantity ordered, my quantity shipped, and my quantity delivered, right? And I'll also show you another interesting function called treat as. And we are going to see how that works. You'll see how interesting this is. And by the time we come to the next class, I'm also going to show you something like uh, how you can see. So for a particular order, you want to see when it was actually delivered, the corresponding delivery date or ship date. You will see that. But let's go ahead. So I have my matrix table here, and I have my month year from here, my month year under rows, right? I have my month year under rows, then make it bigger. I go to my row headers and I increase the volume, set volume. I increase the row headers to 20 for fonts, and I'll go to my column headers also. Let me make it 20, right? I have this. Is it arranging for me the way it should? No. There is a problem. December is supposed to show me October, November. So let me go back here and change this one to format. Format is as what? As 00, and I press enter. And I would change this now back to old number. Say yes. And let me go back now and see. Sorry, guys, hold on. This thing should not give me problem today. Okay.
Gbenga, you don't need to use the format with the month. Just use month function, right?
You mean I should have just done the sorting on this one, Abi?
I think the month number that you did,
Yeah.
just use month function. Just use month function.
It's not arranging it well for me. That's why I had to do it like that. Because I noticed that, okay, same thing that later happened though. I thought I was going to put 01 and 02 in front of 1 and 2. Okay. So I have 2024, 2025 arranged here. And I want to know my quantity ordered. My quantity ordered. I can put that on my sales table and I'll say new measure. And I'll say new measure. And that one is very simple anyway. I will just say, I'll just hold on for me. So for that, I will just say my order quantity. My order quantity is equals to, my order quantity is going to be equals to the sum of my quantity column that I have in my sales table. So that does not need any sort of adding any other thing, just the sum of quantity, right? Because if you go back to the sales table, you will see the quantity column, and this is the order date here. So you just need to sum up to know, because I can't have a quantity shipped and delivered if there was no order. So for the order quantity, it's just for me to sum the quantity column. And the reason why it's showing me the same, you know why, because there's no relationship yet between my calendar table and my sales table. So I'm now going to break the relationship between order dates, right? Being the first date of the process there. I'm going to link it to my order dates with the dates column in my calendar table, active relationship, then I'll click on save, right? Now when I go back to here, I can see that in 20, this is where the order 25 in October 2024, 25 in November, and 998 in December. So now I can see my order quantity, right? Good. Now, but the problem is that if I go back to my, if I want to get my order sheet, my quantity sheet rather, right? I have my order quantity. I want to say my quantity sheet. I cannot have two active relationship between calendar and my sales table. So what I'm going to do is that I'm still going to create that relationship between ship date and the date column I have in my calendar. But the problem is that if I try to make it active, it's going to create that ambiguity, and I don't want that to happen. So it's not even going to allow you even save it, right? So if I make it inactive, then because it's a one-to-one relationship, that's why you see the cross filter direction to be both. So I'm going to click on save. You will see that the way the behavior works is different in terms of, if you look at the active relationship that I have between order dates and the date column in my calendar table, you will see that there's a thin line, right? Because this one is an inactive relationship, that is why you see the dotted line in between the two tables. So I have ship dates now connected to mine. Now, but because I want to modify my filter context to give me only the quantity that has been shipped out of all the orders that have been received, what is the quantity shipped, right? Now, for me to do that, what I need to do is to write a DAX expression that is going to now activate the inactive relationship that exists between the ship dates and the dates column I have in my calendar table. So how am I going to do that? Is that I'm going to come back to my report canvas here, and I will write a new measure. I'll write a new measure, and I will now call this one what? I will call it shipped quantity. Shipped quantity will now be equals to, I will now use calculate, right? And I will use the sum of quantity that I have in my sales table. We'll close the bracket. And I'll now use the function called use relationship. So this use relationship will now activate that inactive relationship that exists between the ship dates that I have in my sales table and the date column I have in my calendar table. So I'm going to now say ship dates. That is, if you look at the intelligence, it specifies an existing relationship. Now, for this to work, you also have to connect that inactive relationship, or you have to create it. Even though it's going to be inactive, you still have to create that relationship, or else it's not going to work, right? So ship dates, I'm not activating that inactive relationship now. So the ship dates connected to the dates that I have in my calendar table. Then I'm going to close the brackets 2 times. Now you see that it says calculate the sum of quantity column that I have in my sales table. That one is clear to you. It now says use relationship. This will now activate the relationship between ship dates and calendar. If you look at the data model, the relationship between them is inactive because I cannot have more than one active relationship between two tables, right? Okay. Okay. So I'm now going to press enter. And we now drag the ship quantity now inside here. You will now see that all the orders, every of the 1048 orders, right? All of them were, so for the October order, nothing was shipped in October, right? For the November order, nothing happened. Nothing was shipped in that same November. But in December, we had 998. And all the orders from October, everything was shipped in December. Before we go ahead, is it clear to you guys? Any question at this junction? Should I assume that is clear? Should I go ahead? Okay. So if I want to get delivery date now, delivery quantity or delivered quantity rather, the same method. Now something will happen here. You will see what will happen now. Delivered quantity is now going to be the same thing I did, calculate, right? Sum of what? The quantity column in the sales table, right? And I'll say use relationship, that's the DAX function. And I will say delivery date, right? And the calendar date I have in my calendar table. And I press enter, it's going to throw me an error message. You see, it says use relationship function can only use two columns references participating in a relationship. That is my delivery. Guys, hold on, please. Sorry. Sorry, guys, for the break in transmission. So as I was saying, the reason why this is not going to give me results is because there is no relationship between the delivery date and the date column in my what's it called? In my calendar table. So I'm going to go back now. I'm now going to create that relationship, even though it's going to be inactive, right? I'll link it inactive. I click on save. Then when I go back, that error, the error is gone. So now I can now have my delivered quantity. So all the order that came in October, November, December were shipped in December. The delivery, out of this 1,048, I have 55 delivered in that same December. And the rest was delivered in February 2025, which is 993. Is it clear, guys? Does it make sense? Any question? Because I want to respond in the chat section. Clear or not clear?
Mr. Can I see the DAX formula for that delivery quantity?
This is it. Everybody, is it clear? Please answer yes or no.
Mr. Gbenga,
Yeah.
so do we still need to activate do you still need to initiate inactive relationship for the delivery quantity too?
Yes, you need to. Anytime you are using use relationship, you still have to initiate the relationship, even though it's going to be inactive. But for it to work, you
Okay,
still
sir.
have to initiate it.
Okay, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Clear or not clear? I only have 2 responses. If you say it's clear and I give you an assignment to do on it, I don't want to hear it's not clear. Okay. So I also want to teach you another method. That one is using the function called treat as. Treat as, right? That one you don't need to activate the relationship, right? You don't need to activate it. So what I'm going to do now, let me what can I do? Should I duplicate these tables? Okay, let me duplicate the tables. So what I will do now is I'll click on this one. I'll say new table. So I want to show you that you can also achieve the same thing without creating relationship between them at all. So this one will now be called calendar 2, and it's going to be what I have in my calendar table. So I'm going like a duplicate table, right? I have calendar 2. I'm also going to go to sales. I'll create new table, and I'll call this one sales 2. Sales 2 will be equals to my sales table. I press enter. I've duplicated that. Now, let me go to my model. I don't need to have any relationship between these 2 tables, and I'm going to achieve the same thing with a DAX function called treat as. Has anybody here used treat as before? Anybody? Yes or no in the chat section? Treat as. Let me type it for you.
No.
Treat as. Okay. Good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to let me open a new one, a new page, and I bring in my matrix table. I'll bring in my matrix table, and like I did earlier, my year and my month's name, right? I'm going to expand this one, and I'll come here. Let me copy the formats. I'll come here, format painter. I'll come here. Give me a second, like 10 seconds, guys. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, as I was saying, I said I can achieve the same thing without having to initiate relationship between the tables like this, like I have here. So how will I do that? I'm going to create a new measure, say new measure, right? And I'm going to call this one order quantity 2. Let me put it that way, right? Or I can say second example. I can put it in brackets, second example, right? And I'll do the same thing. I'll say calculate the sum. Let me make my work neat. So the sum, right? The sum of quantity. I'm using sales 2 now, the second sales table, right? I will now say treat as, right? Now, in my treat as, I'll put values, right? Treat as values, treat as. So it means that treat as if there's the relationship between the two tables, right? And I'm going to call out the calendar table, the calendar column rather, the calendar column, and what's going on here? The calendar column here. What's the name of the second column? My order dates in sales 2, right? And I'm going to close, right? This is very sensitive. I'm still down, sorry. This, and I press enter, right? So calculate the sum of this, treat as a dash function, right? We help you do the calculation, even though there's no relationship between the two tables, right? So the values here is for you to have like a unique list of dates between these two tables. So order dates and my dates column in my calendar table, right? I press commit. Let's see if I'm going to get the same answer. Order quantity, second example. It's a problem. Eh, okay. Do I have to create a relationship? I don't think I have to. Do I have to? Sorry, guys, I'm coming. Oh, do I have to do it for the other ones? I'm coming on. Let me be sure. Let me go back here. I'll be sure I'm picking from. Oh, sorry. Should picking from calendar 2. Let's see here. Okay. I think I've seen where I made mistake now. So I was picking from calendar 1, sorry, instead of calendar 2. Right? Can you see now, guys? Hello, is everybody there?
Yes.
So here, month name.
Yes, yes.
So what did you,
Aha.
Mr. Yonga, can you
No,
come
no.
again?
No, you know that I created 2 tables, calendar 2 and
Okay.
sales 2. I went to pick my year and the month name from the calendar, not calendar 2.
Okay.
Oh, that was the mistake I made. So let me go back here and do that thing we did the other time. So calendar 2, I've not sorted it. So month name should be sorted by month number. Month number. Okay, let me go back. October to December. Perfect. So now that I have this, you see that for this one now, I got the same results, right? If you don't want to create any relationship between the two tables, all you need to do is to use your treat as. So treat as use relationship will work if you have relationship between the tables. Treat as will give you the same result if you don't want to create relationship between the two tables. Is it clear to us, guys? Because I want your response. So is it clear? Okay. Let me come again. I have two tables, calendar and sales. For the first example, I did not need to create, I created a relationship between them. One active and the other two inactive. That one is clear to you guys, right? Please, I want your
Yes.
response now. You said it's not clear.
Yes,
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 clear.
yes.
Two inactive. This part, this first one is clear to you. Abi? Now, this second one, the same table up here is the one down here. I just duplicated it. I want to get the same results. And I don't want to create any relationship between the two tables. And I'm still going to get the same results. Sorry, guys, somebody is coming to see me. Just hold on, let me pick the call. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'll edit this part away from the recording. Somebody is coming to see me and they are not getting the road. They are way here. So I'm trying to explain the I'm trying to explain the address to them. Maybe how will I put it safe? Google Map, they confuse sometimes. So as I was saying, I said that the fourth example, there was a relationship between the table, one active, two inactive. In this one now, I want to get the same result. I'm assuming that I have these two tables, calendar and sales. I want to get the same result without creating a relationship between these tables, right? And I said that to do that, I have to use the treat as function, right? Let me expand it so that you see. You see now, the same thing I did, calculate sum of quantity. Treat as means treat the two tables as if you have initiated a relationship between them, right? Treat as values, right? Calendar dates and my order date to get my quantity ordered though. To get my quantity what? Ordered. Is it clear to you guys now? Is it clear, guys? Hello, guys. Is it clear?
Yes. Yes, it's clear.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It's clear. It's
So
very
to do the
clear.
same thing now for what do you call it? I will not see whether you guys understand it now. To do the same thing for shipped quantity. Shipped quantity, second example. So now be what? Can somebody tell me? Oh yeah, now. So you say it's clear. You should be telling me now. Calculate.
Sum of
Sum.
sales.
Sales care. Sum of quantity.
Sum of quantity.
What will be the next thing now?
Treat as,
Treat as. Yes.
then values.
Values. Yes.
Calendar to date.
Calendar to dates. Yes.
Then ship date.
Ship date now. Thank you. Right. I press enter. I go back to my report canvas. Ship date second example. You see that I got the same results without creating relationship between the tables. Is it clear what we are doing here, guys? Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So the same thing,
Yes,
let me
sir.
to trouble myself. For delivered quantity, let me just copy this one. Copy this one, new measure. And I'll paste it. And this one will now be delivered quantity. Second example, right? Delivered quantity, second example. And this one will now be what? Delivery dates. Delivery dates. And I commit. And I can come here, just drop it here. And you see that now I have the same results. Let me copy this table and put it on this page. Is the result from the two tables, is it different from each other?
No, that is
No, they're not different.
It's the same. So did you learn something new today?
Yeah.
Okay, treat as and use relationship. Use relationship is when you want to get, so your calendar now is the role-playing dimension. There's a dimension table that is serving multi-purpose. With that calendar table, you can get your order quantity, your ship quantity, and your delivered quantity. So that's the concept. Now, if you want to get it by creating relationship, you use relationship. If you want to get the same result without creating any relationship in your model, you use the treat as function. Is it clear to you guys? Treat as and use relationship. Any question? Any questions so far? Yes, no.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, please, which of the two is the best practice? Is it best to use relationship or treaters?
There's no one that is best. It just depends on you, which one you prefer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
No.
Is it boring to you or interesting?
Interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting, sir.
You have to go
Yes,
and practice it to understand it. You cannot just
exactly.
leave the class. You come to the next class,
And
second day, you don't practice nothing. That's not how it's going to stick. Isaiah,
Sir.
Adenike, any question? Mukwe, Bernard, Idris, Jude.
I think my own question will have to be that how can one get a weekly how can I generate a weekly report like for other quantity ship? I mean weekly. So
It's the same way now. Instead of having months and this thing, you can just put week. I mean, what do you want to achieve with the weekly, Mr. Isaiah?
and I'm saying that I'm looking at scenarios whereby you will need to have weekly reports. How do you ensure that, okay, for instance, in the calendar dates, how do you ensure that those dates is being classified into week 1, week 2, week 3 on the basis of the
Like say, now
numbers
this
of
weekly, this my Isaiah wanted. But yeah, let's do new column so that Isaiah can see week. Week number is equals to week, right? And space and week num, function called week num, right? The dates in my calendar table. Is that not what you want, sir?
Okay.
Is what Isaiah goes, you use week, finish me. So if you want to use the week by week, now just to change this month to week. Instead of having months here, you can just change it to week. But that might be too much anyway. But we're going to explore more stuff on role-playing dimension by the time we come to the next class. So guys, there will be no class tomorrow. Our next class will be next week, Saturday. We'll do Saturday and Sunday next week. So be prepared. Is that clear to all of us?
yes, sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you very
everyone.
much.
See you
Thank you.
next week, Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yep.
Use your Sunday to practice, so please practice.